all of these tapes of things that I would go like, well, what about this song? You know, this song. In the P-Funk world, in the industry right now, people are just bidding tracks. Even more now. You know what I mean? Like, I got a friend, a guy that works with P-Funk. I mean, this cat has got a 2 Chainz hit. And it's that kind of thing. Now, is he bidding that? He's found a way to have an agent bid for it. Back in the day, that meant that everybody had a song coming in the door. What about this? Got one for you. I run my company. I own it straight out. Well then, F you, I'm putting it out like this, and I feel good about it. I don't really need having nightmares with this guy, you know. You know, who knows what that crap's all about, but why should I stand in the line for some self-proclaimed boss when I'm the boss of me, you know? And I just like doing it because I can, and you know, it's mine. It's called, I get to, you know, flip my wee out in the wind, like, look at that. And because that's all it is at the end of the day. One time I went for trying to do the record deal. It lasted for 1 year. I didn't like it the day after I signed it. So I rolled it out and walked around like, hey, I got a record deal. You know, didn't mean shit. So I prefer doing me. You know, I do me. I've been fortunate enough to have one side. I got 24 hours to pull off something. It's always been like that. Okay, now you do me a song. Shouldn't Have Been Fish was like done the very last day of the project. I did it. Credit cards on George's record. It's like, do me something. It's like, I never even got a chance to even hear it down, you know. Well, it's just like, hey, a couple of hours of work. And, but it's been useful because they've been on like, you know, some nice albums. Nothing I'm ultra proud of, satisfied, probably fun trying, but that wasn't intended. And I didn't even want me on the track. Prince came to the Beverly Theater, and he was behind that curtain. And Greg Boyer walked up to me, and I thought he was trying to be funny because he walks up to me and he goes, "Prince wants you." This guy is a superstar, and he doesn't talk, and he's got this whole thing. And I probably was one of the few in the group that dug him like that, because it's just that, and I know what it was. He was my generation. I didn't really have to listen to, like, you know, like Gary and them are like 5 years older than me. Gary and Boog and those cats. Eddie probably 5 or 6 years older. You know, it's kind of like, or maybe 10, who knows, but they were all older than me. And for me, Prince was like, and you could hear everything that was his influence, because if you were like born that year and lived in those years, you heard the same sound. So it wasn't like he was surprising me, but I was charmed that he used the aesthetics of that time that he grew up with and turned it into a thing. So I met him first time was in St. Paul. He wasn't signed yet, but one of the cats that was working the show that we did in St. Paul was that guy, Husney. And they were dropping the bad news on George that the electric spanking thing wasn't going to be panning out too well. He brought that guy, he brought Prince with him. I was back in the dressing room, and then just this guy standing there, and he said, "This is your room?" And I said, "Yeah." He said, "What? Nobody get in here past you?" I said, "Nobody get in here past me. I decided who comes in." It was like, cool. And when he got on, Blackbird and myself, we met down at this skating rink called Flippers. We go to Flippers to go see Prince, and we're standing out there in the parking lot because we're looking at the scene, and this white station wagon shows up, and it's like, I spotted it's like Prince is in the back, like crunched up in the back like I do. He was just, and they rolled up in the back of Flippers, and they got out, and what's his name? Andre Simone came out and actually spoke to us and called us by name. This is like, Prince is brand new. The whole thing is brand new. And he goes, "Hey, Clip, hey, Blackbird." And we look at each other like, wow, they know our name. And it's like, "Oh yeah, man, we've been listening to your cats." And yeah. It's like, wow, this is really cool. In '81, he showed up at Beverly Theater, and I was kind of young and married, and I had a kind of like that kind of Kurt and Courtney kind of marriage going on, you know what I mean? I just remember him asking for me, and then I walked over there to him, and I said, "Hey, you wanna hook up?" And he said, "You wanna play?" And he said, "Oh no, I just came to see what the noise was all about." And now I'm actually hearing words out of his mouth because everybody say he don't talk to anybody. I'm like, oh wow. And he said, "But I want to talk to you." Now I never got a chance to hear what it was. I told him that during Maggot Brain we would meet down in the basement. I remember George being in the room, Charlie Wilson was there, and a bunch of people were there. And Prince, who was kind of on the unknown thing and the touchable kind of thing, standing there, and I go to walk up to him, and my wife at the time, she walks up and she goes, "Clip, tell him to give you an autograph for my cousins." And I go, "Hold down for a minute, I really want to hear what this guy's got to say." And she's going all over my back. She's going, you can see her head going, "Well, he can sign an autograph." I said, "But hold down for a second." And then out of nowhere, she says, "Oh, F him, little punk bitch. He ain't got as much talent as you, Clip. Clip's got more talent than you." And I'm looking around like, what? And this dude just stood there and looked at me and went like, "Is that your woman?" I said, That was the end of that. Years later, we got over there to Paisley, and you just see him. He's a very dashing dude all through his plays, and we're sitting there in the commissary. So you get to say hey, and then you think that maybe I didn't even know. And one year they had us come to Paisley to do 4 shows. There was Blackbird, myself, may have been Boogie, and Peanut. Boogie, Peanut, and Gary. And then Prince band, whatever was getting ready to be his new thing, we all jammed, Michael Beard and all them cats, and we played. And I just did willy-nilly a version of Let's Get Satisfied, which hadn't been recorded yet. And they told us that Prince was going to be at one of these shows. They gave us rules on what not to do when you get around, don't stand close, don't crowd him, don't do any of these things. And I just remember, man, this is the funniest. I get to this part where I'm doing Let's Get Satisfied, and all of a sudden Prince shows up, right? Now, Prince has showed up. I'm in the middle of my song. Apparently he's liking it because he's going to stand up on the stage with me. He walks out there to go do his thing on the keyboard, and Gary Scheider grabs him he's wearing virgin white. He's got new hairdo I've never seen before, He's wearing virgin white, white cashmere, virgin white pants, cashmere, just some ultra sharp stuff, right? Gary Sanders out there sweaty in the diaper. Man, he grabbed Vince in the headlock. Come on, sing, brother, sing. And I think we saw every bit of a minute 40.